Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk everything animation here, including Miraculous Ladybug, which we'll be getting into right now. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by April Collins.
Hi there.
And Andy Potter.
Hello.
We are talking the newest episode of Miraculous Ladybug Season 3, Miraculer, which came out yesterday in Spain. We're talking the English dub version of this episode of Ladybug. We talk Ladybug every time it's new. We're also getting an episode in a few days as well. So a lot of Ladybug coming up. Check us out at overlyanimated.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes at overlyanimated.com/iTunes or on our YouTube at youtube.com/overlyanimated. We're also on Spotify if you search for Overly Animated there to subscribe to not miss our future Ladybug podcast. We have a big episode to get to today in Miraculer. Make sure you've seen this new episode that aired in Spain. Spoilers for Miraculer and all previous episodes of Miraculous Ladybug Season 3 to come in this podcast. We also got news yesterday, that there is a Ladybug and Cat Noir Awakening animated musical movie announced. Not many details, but that's also there. There's like a Variety article on that. Any hot takes on the the upcoming animated? It should be noted.
They'll sell tickets and then it'll get canceled.
Yeah.
In the past, the stage show and live action movie were both announced and canceled. This article references the live action movie, but I'm pretty sure it's not happening.
It's not. We know that.
Is it possible to have hot takes on something that doesn't exist?
The only thing is this article says that it's in production, which makes I think that's further than the previous two things got.
But Dylan, they say season 5 is in production.
That I believe. That is actually probably true.
Look, Dylan, season 30 is already in production.
Season 5 is way more likely than the Awakening musical. Supposedly this is directed by Jeremy Zag, and Thomas's name was not mentioned, which is a little frustrating considering Thomas makes the show, Jeremy Zag does not. But Jeremy Zag directs the Chibi shorts and owns Zagtoons. I don't know. I'm skeptical of this project if Thomas is not involved, but exciting news nonetheless. Yeah.
I mean, I guess. If it happens, it would be exciting.
Yeah. I can't get any excitement here because I just... It's not going to happen.
This is much more realistic considering they're an animation studio than live action movie or play. So at least we're going for something possible.
They sold tickets to the play.
They did sell tickets and then had to cancel it. We were planning on going. It was going to be great.
We were literally planning on.
We're going to go to opening night, and so we're scarred, and we don't believe any of these things happen. But yeah, it's okay. Look up Ladybug and Cat Noir Awakening. We'll see if it happens. They have like legit composer and stuff attached. They also had a legit director attached to the live action movie, and that's not happening. So that doesn't mean anything. Okay, let's talk this episode, Miraculer. We had to get that news out of the way. Yes, very, very big, potentially the biggest episode of season 3 so far, at least plot-wise. April, what did you think of Miraculer?
So, first off, I'm glad to know that we're back in Paris because we saw the Eiffel Tower.
But it gets destroyed in the first 20 seconds of the episode. Yeah.
Right, but at least
that's how you know it's a great episode of Ladybug when the Eiffel Tower immediately gets destroyed.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, as soon as I saw the Eiffel Tower and then it was destroyed, I was like, yes, this is going to be amazing because 1, we're back in Paris, and 2, nothing big happens in the show unless the Eiffel Tower is involved in some way, shape, or form.
That's your reaction to the Eiffel Tower getting destroyed? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Like, how are you not hyped about the Eiffel Tower getting destroyed? Because we saw the Eiffel Tower. We've missed it. It's been 6 episodes since we've seen the Eiffel Tower. I just didn't know what was going on. Were we still in Paris? Were we in America? No one knew. So,
are we not allowed to make jokes about French landmarks being destroyed anymore after recent news?
Oh no, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's kind of bad.
I don't know. I think that was a while. It's fine. This show has been setting things on fire that are important in Paris long before the real world did.
Right, and first off, it's the Eiffel Tower. Well, they aired this episode. They could have easily edited the Eiffel Tower.
Right, how insensitive. They should have censored that part of the episode after.
I would have. They could have just had Nadia just Also, okay, so talking about Nadia, I was I love every time that like Ladybug and Cat Noir are fighting a villain off screen, but we're only getting commentary about it because it's always really hilarious. She's like, Ladybug just did her lucky charm. It's a rubber duck. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, shades of stormy weather too in the beginning of this episode.
Yeah, so I also know it's a good time if we get that. Like, it's this episode just had all of the makings of a great time. Eiffel Tower.
You really haven't mentioned any of the top 10 things that happen in this episode yet, April. You've really just mentioned the first minute.
Look, this is how hype I am about this episode. Okay, so whenever I saw Mayura, I freaked out because I was like, she's alive. First off, not that I doubted that Natalie wasn't alive, but also Natalie is in great health, so I'm glad to see she's doing okay, despite the fact that apparently her being Mayura has been going on for a while, as this episode would suggest, because apparently they're just stalking Chloe, which I feel like is not okay, but okay, whatever. This does not surpass, or I guess this is right at Gabriel's bar of getting what he wants. That makes any kind of sense. But no, this episode was great. We moved all around so much. We understand that why Marinette's been reluctant to give Chloe the Bee Miraculous, and there was a whole bunch of action going on. Okay, I'm getting all worked up now. It's fine.
What are you building towards here?
That I really enjoyed this episode, and I can't wait to discuss everything.
Okay, good. I'm glad we reeled it in at the end. So save some energy for the discussion down the line.
I'm sorry. I just get really excited.
No, yes, we love the enthusiasm. If any episode warrants rampant enthusiasm and jam-packed takes to start off, I think it would be this one. Thank you, April. Andy, give us your unbridled enthusiasm about Miraculer, if applicable.
April left me the entire episode to talk about.
Really didn't mention much from the actual episode.
I really don't know where to start.
Because I know we're going to discuss everything, so there's no point in just laying it all out on the table right away.
That's the point of this segment, April. We talk about... Okay.
I'm just trying to...
Okay, for the record, the segment is for general overall thoughts. Co-hosts often expand that to specific parts of the episode, but that is not the intention.
Thank you for breaking down OVA podcast structure. Okay.
The point is, this episode was weirdly about plot, and I don't know how I feel about that, because I don't know, Hawkmoth was insane this episode. Literally insane.
More insane than normal?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
He didn't do absurd things, but when just his plan was the most crazy thing I have ever seen, because it not only hinged on Chloe, but it hinged on multiple specific things that Chloe would do, and it didn't work, and he just barreled on through it we're still going to get Chloe to turn on Marinette, and it worked. That's the craziest part of this whole thing, that Hawkmoth's insane plan worked. But all he did was make one teenage girl hate a teenage girl villain. That's all he did this episode. That's all he did.
I'd say that's more than he normally does.
Yes, yeah. Dylan. But he's an adult man, and his entire purpose for today's episode was making one teenage girl not like the person
he's pitting teenage girls against each other. Yes.
Oh. Yeah.
More or less bad than akumatizing infants.
Well, Dylan, I thought they were going to do that again for a second.
There was a baby here.
I literally saw the baby again.
Also the same baby. It's the same baby from before.
The same baby.
I literally yelled at my screen. I'm like, no.
I think you were on that episode, Andy, that podcast.
I was.
So we're excited to see that baby back.
No, I was not.
Why not?
I don't know. It's just, I don't need more... Of all the episodes I've seen, that's not the one where I need
That's not
more
the one where you're I need the sequel to the one where they akumatize the baby and it becomes giant. That's not the one you wanted?
Yeah. There's so many villains. I'm okay, let's see them first. But no, the baby is not at the top of that list.
Okay.
Well, the baby's been akumatized
multiple times. No,
yes.
Also different babies, probably.
I don't need it again, is what I'm saying. I don't need more.
Did you like the episode, Andy?
I don't I liked it. I'm just like, it's weird having a plot episode. I don't know how to break that down in my brain, Dylan.
Okay,
Because it's like,
we'll break it down. We'll get there together. Okay.
Yeah, I
do it.
need this. I need your guiding
Our
hand.
friendship.
We need the podcast catharsis here to get through this episode.
Oh, I also like the continued thread of literally anyone else using the Lucky Charm thing being so much more useful than Marinette.
Than Marinette, yes.
That is a gag that never isn't funny to me. It they get a sword and a laser gun, and she gets a pillow.
Yeah, we had the third time appearance of the giant anime sword.
Yes,
which at first I thought it was a running joke, but I think they're just reusing the asset. But it's still funny.
Yes,
okay.
it is.
They're doing it for us. That's what I like.
No, I think they're doing it for production costs, but it's still funny.
Well, yeah, obviously.
No, at first I thought it was like, oh, callback. I'm not so sure, but we love it though. So keep doing the giant anime sword. Okay, we'll get through Miraculous. This is a very fun episode. There's way too much happening in this episode. This is, I think, probably the most jam-packed episode of Ladybug ever. I said that about Oni-chan. I don't even want to say the name again ever. But it was that was like a really hectic episode, and this is Oni-chan was just like very fast-paced. This episode's trying to jam in like legitimately 8 different big themes, any of which were more important than like the entirety of Bakerix or several other episodes this season. I don't know why the whole plot of the season hinges on this one episode. I think that we're starting to see that they are struggling to have a more plot-focused season within their current broadcast limitations of we don't know which episode's going to air in what order, so we can't really do a continuous plot, but they're still trying to. And so what happens is that this is the first time we've seen Mayura since the season 2 finale. And it's been like 10 episodes, and it feels really weird to just see her pop up. It kind of doesn't work, but the reason is just because they don't seem to be able to, Zag like can't promise that they're going to show the episodes in order. We're very glad that we got this episode after Oni-chan, because it does take place after Oni-chan, like the direct next episode. So the Hawkmoth Lila stuff at least makes sense, but Mayor coming out of nowhere is kind of very random, and so far I don't know if the season is really clicking into place plot-wise, and I don't know how much it's the fault of the show, but so yeah, there's a lot I love here. I think that Chloe is like the star of this episode. Chloe is
for sure
fantastic this episode. I actually think she's legitimately sympathetic in this episode.
I also think there's an argument that she's like the main character of this episode. It almost feels like she has more time on screen than everyone else.
I have like 8 different big talking points written down, and one of them involves Marinette. And 0 of them involve Cat Noir. So like they are Marinette and Adrian are very minimized.
You didn't even talk. We're not even going to talk about how like Adrian almost died in this episode.
Apparently he can get cataclysmed and it's just fine. So that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. He's okay. That's the
okay.
We needed Nadia coming down saying he's okay. It's literal distract. I guess since he has the plug miraculous, he's immune to. I don't know.
No. The way I read it was that his ribs were broken, and he was just because he was like he mentioned his ribs hurting and stuff, and then he like collapsed multiple times. I think he was implying.
He was affected, but he should be dead. But that's fine.
He should be dead.
Yeah.
He should be destroyed.
Yeah, we'll get to it. This is not important again. But
it is. Do you not
Adrian's health is not important. Just kidding, fangirls. We love Adrian. He's okay. He's okay.
Can we talk about like his one moment of the show then while we're already talking about
Absolutely
it?
Not. I want to get back to Chloe. Chloe
I was like, it's gonna be really quick.
Okay, give me the one moment.
Okay, so it's whenever he's Cat and he like tells Ladybug that she really like he's like, you have to go talk to Chloe. So it involves Chloe. And I was like, that's really like mature and
he's
you're
very mature
right.
Here. Yeah. Okay, that's a good point. He's as Cat Noir very mature. Cat Noir sometimes the immature side of Adrian, but that's a good look, I think, and very the Lady Noir dynamic is furthering and deepening. I would say.
I did not process till this second how insane it is that I have to be on a podcast with you, Dylan, when Chloe was the focus of an episode.
Oh, I'm not going to shut up about it for the next hour, so buckle up.
I just realized.
This is, not only is Chloe resists akumatization in this episode, she is the best. She other than Marinette, she's the best person in Paris. I'm going to make that argument because no one else can do this except for
the teacher.
the teacher.
No, wait, it wasn't.
And was it Marinette or the teacher? No, the teacher doesn't resist. Marinette resists. Yeah, it's
Marinette.
other than. Here's the ranking. Santa. We went over the list. Santa's lists in the Chris Master podcast. Chloe's jumping up to number 2 here. Number 1, Marinette. Number 2, Chloe. That's it. Okay, she's so fantastic. Her love of Ladybug is so strong. She can resist but her love of Ladybug is done at the end. We will check in on that. That's one of our discussion points here. But yeah, not only is Chloe so fantastic in this episode, and I think everyone's on board on loving Chloe at this point. We'll see if you guys agree. But also Lila, once again, the season of Lila continues, and all of our dreams were realized when Lila and Chloe interact in this episode.
Oh my god.
And they are fantastic together. Chloe is clearly less insidious at the moment than Lila and much stupider. So it made for a great dynamic. And whenever they were, the dance, everything about them was great. How Hawkmoth relates to this episode and Mayura, I think, is the worst part of the episode because, and I will say, Chloe and Sabrina's is the emotional core of the episode. Chloe and Sabrina are great in this episode, the best maybe since season 1 that they've been together. I think there's not enough of them, I think there's basically my like critics' view of this episode is there's too much going on. If we had more of Chloe and Sabrina, this episode would be a lot more anchored. As is, we waste a lot of it on Mayura and Hawkmoth talking nonsense, so it's way too all over the place. I like seeing Mayura. I don't really understand what's happening with his plan with Chloe. It's out of nowhere, and I'm not sure it really makes sense. And then you have the Lila and Hawkmoth stuff, which I was skeptical of and the end of Onichan, and I really don't think makes any sense from Lila's perspective, but we'll talk about that. So I'm kind of very confused as to all of Hawkmoth's machinations here. Not like in terms of the viability of them, but in terms of like the logic behind what's going on. So we need to break that down. But and also this is like the biggest Avengers episode since the season 2 finale. So all of that is way too much, but it's all here. And also the episode's very well animated. It's a very well put together episode. I think it's a good one. I think it's, top half of the season, but, I would have liked to have portioned this out amongst, some other episodes a little bit more.
Yeah. I was going to say like that. It definitely feels like, cause we've had like, 10 episodes of the season so far. And so it seems like they tried to put 10 episodes of plot all into one single episode. And it very much leaves you feeling like you missed an episode somewhere along the lines. You're like, wait, did I miss the episode that like leads up to this? Or did you feel like you missed a whole bunch of stuff kind of, because it seems very like forced upon you.
And this is good. The airing thing gets back to this. Like, I think they're doing the best they can, but like they can't just have 3 plot episodes in a row because they're not going to be aired together. So what they have to do is they have to just plant a small seed with Lila and Hawkmoth at the end of last episode, and then everything just starts and finishes in one episode. Like, I do think this episode really suffers from the fact that the show can't do arcs, and that really needs to change. I don't know how we're going to do seasons 4 and 5 without actually airing the episodes in order. Maybe they intend to, but I mean, clearly this is like the worst it's ever been in terms of episodes being aired out of order this season. So, I don't know how we're going to get to that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I guess I understand that because they don't know how it's going to air. And so that's why we have to kind of have an episode like this, but also like, it's just really hard to get through. And I don't know, like, I know it's nothing against them or anything like that, but it's like we're sitting here and like, this is a great episode, but we're all like, yeah, we're not sure how we feel about it kind of situation. And so like that kind of says a lot to me in terms of like, and we've even commented before with the previous episodes that a lot of them feel like, it's like, oh, we're like in very much like season 1 territory again, where all of these episodes like don't really connect, and like there's not a whole lot that like there's not a lot of continuity between them kind of situation. So, and again, that comes from the fact that like there isn't like any connecting plot in them, and then we're getting episodes out of order.
Yeah, and I blame Zag for this, not Thomas and crew. Yeah. I think they're doing the best they can with these. I really wish we had better airing circumstances here, but I also think the show is like written to this format though, so I don't know. But it's interesting seeing this transition period. Like Code Lyoko went through this too. It was like completely non-serialized, and then like starts to transition. I don't remember if it ever got to be like super serialized in the end, but
I think it got closer in the last season.
Yeah,
like but it definitely had this kind of like you could watch it out of order and just because like all the episodes kind of opened on cold opens and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think we'll really ever get to full serialization with Ladybug, but we'll see. We do have 2 more seasons coming up. Okay, April, what's I mentioned a ton of things. What's the thing you're most eager to talk about here, you think?
You're going to love this. I'm eager to talk about a lot of the Chloe stuff.
Yes.
And then after that is like the whole Hawkmoth and Gabriel stuff, or not Gabriel, Myra stuff, because that stuff I just have a lot of thoughts, and I feel like if we discuss them, then maybe like it'll kind of come full circle for me, or I'll understand better, which is sad because like I'm like, Hawkmoth, what are you doing? And it's not like an excited like, what are you doing, Hawkmoth? It's like, what are you doing? I don't know kind of situation. So
different tones denote different meaning. Oh, yeah, I like that. I think the like leading headline in terms of like news for the show from this episode is Mayura being back. But I think like the biggest thing within the episode itself, like if you actually want to break down, is Chloe. Like I think Chloe is the headline of the but like this is the second time we've ever seen Mayura. So we'll save her for a second because I don't think there's a ton to discuss with Mayura because a lot of it's like I don't really know what's I guess this is.
I guess I just like I have a lot of questions about it, like that whole situation. That if you're gonna just like plop her in front of us at least, and you're gonna give us all this other plot, then why don't you give us something like some type of other explanation? And it doesn't have to be like a lot, because sometimes this show does really well with like giving us like little things and then everything kind of makes sense. And so kind of like with the Lucky Charm kind of situation, like you give us things and then it all kind of comes together and makes sense in the end, even though you're not giving us a whole lot. So if you can do it with that, do it with like plot stuff too.
Okay. Yeah. We'll get into this a little bit more. I think let's run through the Chloe. Let's run through the Chloe topic. So I found Chloe to be. So I'm a huge Chloe stan. So this is not surprising. I liked her this episode. I imagine that everyone liked her this episode. I feel like all the actions she took were surprisingly sympathetic. Were you on board with Chloe, April?
Oh, for sure. I was like 100% on board with Chloe this episode. Like she still has like her Chloeisms, but I was like very, very easily looked past them. And I like, she's in like such a strange position, and that's partially like Marinette's fault that she feels this way, because like Marinette hasn't been honest with her. And so like that kind of sucks, like to be left out of something that you clearly love to do and everyone knows that you love to do and you're very open about it. And then, for her to just not have that explanation as to why they can't include her. And it's even better because like she understands at the end too. Like she's just like, I understand, like, and maybe that's not like what she wanted to hear, but like the fact that she was accepting of that and like still handed over the Miraculous was incredible. And like, even like whenever she is Queen Bee and she's like by herself, I love that she's having like these very like human moments where she's just like, oh my gosh, I lost Mayura. Like, where did she go? Okay, I think she's over there. Like Ladybug's gonna hate me kind of situation. So I just love that she was very like humanized in this episode.
Yeah, I think so. Andy, did you find Chloe humanized here?
Yeah, and I find it interesting that when she's like April was saying, when she's Queen Bee, it definitely feels like she's not more sympathetic, but kind of like not doesn't have all those Chloeisms anymore. Like she's a lot more it's unclear whether she's playing up a hero character or if that's more who she is, if that makes sense. Like when she's Queen Bee. And it's interesting seeing that from her. And I always like seeing it. But I really liked this core of like just the core of Chloe's thing this week is just people aren't being honest with her about something that she likes to do. And that's a really relatable thing. And I think it like I was really not on board with how weird the plot kind of like just how much there was this episode, but it worked because at the end I totally felt for Chloe and I totally was like, yes, girl, you understand like you can't be Queen Bee anymore and like she made the right choice there. But then I also understood like, yeah, she's really upset. And it was really, I think it hit really well and I was surprised by how well it hit.
Because it's also very subtle too.
Yeah.
So
it's not like for this show, it's a very subtle beat. Like just how not subtle, but like, it's not really in your face about it. It's just like, hey, Chloe's being very mature about this, but that doesn't mean she's happy.
Yeah, that I still kind of don't understand fully Chloe's emotions at the end of the episode because I think part of it is, this is a big moment for Chloe as a person. She's willingly handing it over and she's okay with it. She's accepting it even if she still wants to be Queen Bee later. But also there's the episode is trying to convey this anger with Ladybug or just being, I feel like the main thing I took away is she's just done with Ladybug. Like she used to be super obsessed with Ladybug and now she's moved past that, I think.
I the way I read it was that she understands the motivations and the decision that's happening in this moment, but she's upset with the way that Ladybug dealt with things before this moment. And so that's the way I was reading it. So she made the decision in that moment, like, yes, this doesn't require my anger. Like, this makes sense. Ladybug's being honest with me right now. But that doesn't mean Ladybug wasn't being dishonest to me the last, like, however many weeks or whatever. Like that, and that hurt her.
Yeah, it's a good point that she's still maybe upset at Ladybug for not talking to her about this previously, even if she agrees she needs to give it back at the end.
Yeah, and that's kind of what's being built up through the episode because everyone's just like, Miranda, you need to talk to her, and that's kind of like the whole foundation of this whole thing that's happening.
Right, and yeah, which I think is a really interesting thing, plot starter, which I think it gets a little buried in the episode. But Chloe, at the end, upset with Ladybug. I'm not sure to what extent. Hawkmoth seems to think this is a very good thing in that she will be joining him soon. I definitely did not get that read. I feel like Chloe's super loyal to the heroes, but
I think so as well. I very much got the read that, like, I think Hawkmoth just thinks he has an understanding of the situation, but I don't think he really does. And if anything, like, that whole episode should just, like, prove that for him, that, like, hey, you can't necessarily rely on Chloe to, like, join your side, which is obviously his plan for whatever reason. But, like, it's, like, maybe she's not happy with Ladybug at the moment, but I don't think she would abandon Ladybug that way.
I think the better way to put it is she might be upset with Ladybug, but I think this episode's meant that she's a good person and she knows that Hawkmoth's a villain and she just wouldn't do that.
Are we all on board that Chloe is a good person? This is a huge
leap. Dylan, why are you not, like, over the moon right now?
Of course I think so, but everyone, no, this is new territory for fans of Ladybug thinking Chloe is a good person. I don't know if some of our audience would agree with that.
If they don't think she's a good person after this, I think they need to rewatch this episode a little closer.
Well, Chloe does have unsympathetic moments.
But
she lashes
she's a teenager.
She lashes out at Sabrina, lashes out at John Claude. I mean, this is typical Chloe moments.
I can be, like, it's typical Chloe, but also, like, I'm going to say this and I may regret it, but she kind of has, like, a really good reason because she feels very abandoned by Ladybug in those moments. And so, like, as a teenager who doesn't have a good grasp of her emotions and what's going on around her, like, that makes sense that she would lash out. And
I would phrase that as her emotions are understandable, not necessarily she's a good reason, right?
Yeah. Well, they're understandable. I mean, and who's, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, I don't do that in my age, but I do that. Everyone does that, no matter how old you are. So, like, she's upset. And the biggest part is the fact that, like, whenever Hawkmoth tries to akumatize her and she, like, fights it off, like, she's like, no, like, you're not a good person and I want to be a hero. Like, and to me, she was kind of saying, like, I don't want to be like that person. I want to be someone that, like, Ladybug could find as an equal, or, like, you know, as someone that she could rely on, which is what she really wants. Like, she admires Ladybug and she wants to be friends with Ladybug and all of that. And so, like, that's just, like, how do you not like that? Like, how does that not make you a good person? Like, she actively makes a choice to be a good person.
Chloe has moments of good, certainly. I think that is inarguable. A good person is a subjective
but I think this episode really does make that argument. And I think, like, the point is that, like, in normal day-to-day life, like, you don't get the chance to be, like, prove you're a good person. Like, I think you can be a jerk or be a person who says things that are, like, annoying to other people and still be a good person fundamentally. Like, those are very different levels of being, like you can be like what I'm saying is you can be polite and nice to people but also underneath be like a bigot or something. But, like, Chloe's, like, I think just a nice person who just doesn't understand completely with age how to be empathetic and how to understand the correct ways to interact with people. And that's something understandable and I get, and that's something that can be taught. Like, that's something that can be, that's a much better foundation as a person than, like, a lot of other people have.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think the best supporting evidence is this huge moment for her when she fights off the Akuma.
Yeah.
This is maybe the biggest Chloe moment ever in that she throws down the photo, which, by the way, is very funny. This photo of, like, Ladybug looking disgusted with her, and, like, she treasures it.
Yeah.
But it's very indicative, I think, of what's to come. I think that's, like, a good prop for the themes of the episode of Ladybug doesn't really like Chloe, and Chloe's moving past that, her obsession with Ladybug. But, she fends off the Akuma because I would say it's more because she thinks of herself as a good guy rather than that she is a good guy. I don't know if the episode is so much arguing too big of a moral stance on Chloe, but Chloe is, like, very determined to think of herself as a superhero. And so because of that gives her, I guess, the strength to look past this. And also, she, we've gotten the Chloe redemption arc, to whatever extent we had her become a hero. She's grown a lot. And I think that's a lot of what is behind her being able to fend off the Akuma there. I want to get back to Sabrina in a minute, but I think another big reason why Chloe is very sympathetic in this episode is because she's juxtaposed with someone who everyone really hates right now, which is Lila. And last week I made the Lila defense speech, and none of you are having it. Comments are universally anti my defense of Lila take, because everyone hates Lila. The show wants you to hate Lila, and so having Lila be mean to Chloe is a great way to garner sympathy for Chloe. Lila makes up this dance that will get Ladybug to go to Chloe, and Chloe attempts it.
But before we move on, Dylan, can we mention the most absurd part of this episode before we move on from, like, this? You glossed over it, where what's this? I forgot Adrian's dad's name.
Gabriel,
thank you, Gabriel. When Gabriel drives up in the limo and he does the stupid spy movie thing, like 10 feet away from Lila on a bench.
No, I didn't move past it. We'll get to that. Okay. Hawkmoth Lila section is to come. Believe me.
Okay, good, because that is insane.
Yes, I agree. It's very funny.
There's a reason for it. Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you. I needed to not make sure that was talked about.
Okay, you needed to get it out. We'll get to it. We'll get to the Lila and Chloe, though. Yeah, the dance and Chloe's like, it's utterly and maybe I should try it. Yeah, and a lot of good use of Chloe's catchphrase. Chloe also says she's sorry, utterly sorry at the end, and also Miraculer uses calls things ridiculous too.
Utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and then at the end, Chloe is like, Lila, you tricked me. And she's like, well, you did see Ladybug, right? And she's like, yeah, I guess so. Just, like, I think like this is so humanizing for Chloe. It's because it's like, oh, you're just stupid, Chloe. Like Lila's just clearly much smarter than her.
Yeah.
So I think like we sympathize with Chloe in these scenes. But these titans collided here in this episode, and it was a joy. And I need to see more of Lila and Chloe interacting because they deserve each other to a certain extent. Does Chloe deserve Lila? I think we'd say no, right? Because we all love Chloe now.
No,
I don't know.
I think Chloe deserves the best for her, which is not Lila.
Yeah. Chloe at the meeting Lila, or not meeting because they're in the class. She's like, "Who are you again?"
No, that was Chloe meeting Lila. Let's be real.
And she's like, you didn't leave much of an impression on me. Like, okay, Chloe, she Skyped into your class. You don't remember that?
Yeah, you don't remember one Skype call?
Or I think she goes to school there now, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she does?
I love that Chloe's just like, she's like, I have no reason to care about this person, and so I'm just gonna like, she just does it, which is the best part. Like, she's just like, who are you? Oh, well, you obviously weren't important enough for me to remember. And I think that's like a very like Chloe thing to say, which is even better. And also, that it got a rise out of Lila for sure.
It's just Chloe being classic sassy but we're fine with it because it's Lila, because everyone hates Lila. But really, Chloe's not being very nice here.
But to be fair, Dylan, to Chloe, the entirety of Paris goes to school here, so like she has to keep track of a lot of people.
They have a set class that are now getting akumatized multiple times each because we've ran out of people, so now we have to akumatize.
The only explanation, Dylan, is that that's the entirety of Paris. Like, that's the only explanation.
I mean, they're the only people we see, yeah. We have to akumatize Sabrina second time. Really, just Gabriel doesn't know anyone else, so he doesn't know where to send it.
I think what's happening is that like the rest of Paris is actually like fake. It's just like cardboard.
We see the same baby a second. There's not, I mean, they're not cardboard. They're just the same background.
They're not
assets.
Actually in Paris. They're in.
How dare you? I saw the Eiffel Tower, but it does get exploded at the beginning. Did it come back?
We did see the Eiffel Tower.
We didn't see the Louvre, though, so we can't be sure.
No, the Louvre according to this show, the Louvre is much less important than the Eiffel Tower, although still significantly more important than anything else in Paris.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did we Miraculous Ladybug back the Eiffel Tower? I would assume so.
They didn't show it on screen, but we saw like the butterflies fly over.
How can we be sure?
Yeah.
Show the Eiffel Tower. Show it.
Let us know that the Eiffel Tower is okay.
We need to see it. We need to see it to know it's okay.
Yeah.
You can't just do this to us.
We're
waiting in suspense until whatever episode in the production order is next. Who knows? Who knows?
No, the next episode
we know which one.
It's like 3 episodes after this one, and we'll just.
It's not the Saturday one. The Saturday one's significantly further ahead in the time.
Oh, it is? I did not know this.
Yes, it's like 8 episodes ahead or something like that.
Okay, this is not the time, but what?
We'll deal with that Saturday. Okay, Chloe and Sabrina I call this the heart of the episode. I mean, I think this is, Sabrina's akumatized, and we see these are the emotions that cause her to be akumatized, because Chloe's like, whatever, you don't even have any powers, and so Sabrina's sad in those so-called gives her the ability to take powers. We get the return of the them dressing up as Ladybug and Cat, and Sabrina's in her cat costume.
She's so cute in her cat costume.
Yeah, it's really great. And she's really happy to... This sequence is the best with Chloe and Sabrina. Sabrina says, if Ladybug doesn't show up, I can fetch our costumes so we can play dress up. And Chloe says, that's right, go fetch our costumes. Sabrina says, yay! to that. Chloe offhandedly is like, yeah, whatever, get the costumes. They're great. They have this fantastic snapshot flashback sequence of moments of the two of them together, including like Chloe tickling Sabrina, and then that comes back when Chloe... I missed this the first time I watched. Chloe's very briefly suggests to Ladybug to tickle her in the...
Yes.
I was like, that makes no sense at first.
She yells, tickles!
Yeah, she yells tickles. So...
Well, so the first time that I watched it, I didn't like hear her say that, and so I was just like, wait, how did she know to tickle her? And then the second time I watched it, I hear just Chloe come in and yell tickles, and I was like, yeah, tickles.
Tickle. Yeah. You're pro tickles, April, is what you're saying.
It was well, and it was also a very fond memory Sabrina had of her and Chloe as dressed up as Ladybug. So why wouldn't I be excited about that?
And like Sabrina fell asleep on Chloe. That was part of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I think that's such a great thing to connect with the end of Defeat Her with Tickling showing the snapshot of Tickling, but it's just such a brief thing that they established earlier in the episode. It's on screen for like 5 seconds, this flashback image of them tickling, and then it pays off in like 1 second. And I was like so much more interested in that than most of the plot stuff that was happening emotionally. You know, I think that was a lot more relevant to the episode. So I really would have liked more of their connection. Something to discuss is this is a bit hot topic in the fandom, as evidenced by this is the thing we got the most comments of ever in like overly animated podcast history, is that at the end of Oblivio they're playing the stupid penguin game, turtle, whatever.
Yeah.
And
and okay.
And Nino and Alia were making out in the closet, and then all the couples are like, oh, I play the penguin game, and all of you are like, it's a metaphor for hooking up, and these are all the couples that, and we didn't mention that, because this is a pure and innocent show. Stop trying to corrupt our innocent discussion about Ladybug. How dare you all?
It's a show about 13-year-olds, right?
I mean, I agree that was
14 and 15. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Didn't Marinette have a 13th birthday recently?
She had a 14th birthday.
Okay. Then
I think I could be. I think they were 13 in most of the show. That their body, like, they're not changing the models of these characters.
No, absolutely not. No. So many of you commented in. I'm sorry that we did not discuss this very important metaphor. I agree that this is something the show is going for in that episode. It was not a big thing that it was going for, but that was like a small joke that they included. And Chloe and Sabrina were one of the couples that jumped in and said, we don't be embarrassed. We also play Super Penguino. So people are like, oh, Chloe and Sabrina are hooking up sometimes. I would say this episode further potentially evidences the subtext of Chloe and Sabrina in a...
Yeah, it does.
Okay, explain, April.
Well, okay, because as much as we love to ruin the innocence of shows, which we all love to do, let's be real. So that was very much suggested. And then when we have all of these like precious moments of Chloe and Sabrina, like how do you not think that there's a little bit of the gay there? Like just a little bit. And also they're at that age too where like experimenting is kind of a thing. And so like everyone was like, oh my gosh, like let's practice kissing. And so why wouldn't you do it with your best friend? And maybe Sabrina just feels a little bit more towards Chloe, and Chloe just hasn't realized her feelings yet. That could very much be a thing, Dylan.
Andy,
don't put it down.
Do you agree with this?
I just want to touch on, did you go through that phase in life, Dylan, where you practice kissing with people? Because I definitely did not.
No.
Okay, guys,
I'm not
did
really
it with,
sure
like,
what April's talking about.
Okay,
but...
so...
But yes.
Y'all are too cool to make out with your friends.
It sounds much cooler than not doing it.
Yeah, definitely. But like, I definitely felt the gay here. Like,
Yes, thank you.
I'm gonna walk carefully here. But the thing is, you don't really like, I don't remember a time when I was in like skin tight like latex with my friends for just to like LARP essentially.
Tickling each other on top of each other,
and like falling asleep on a couch together. Like that's
clearly never had dance classes or cheerleading practice, or girls are forced into these things.
Are you writing the fanfic for Chloe and Sabrina?
Look, I'm writing a million Miraculous Ladybug fanfics.
I know. That's probably the 10th time I've said it recently on the podcast. April, are you writing that fanfic? Yeah.
April brings up a great question. Are there any clubs at their school? Like any?
Okay, Andy, you're getting silent. Focus.
No,
Chinese fencing,
They're all wearing tight little outfits in fencing, so I'm just saying.
There are clubs. It's everything that Adrian does.
That's good call.
Adrian participates in every single club.
And Nino does like parties, I guess.
I don't think that's a club, but okay. Maybe it's at a club. But
what's there like an art club or something like that? Because Chloe shows up one time and she has a slideshow of her.
Yeah. Was it in Zombie Zoo? Is that?
Yes.
Okay. This is... Okay. Back to this thing that's just already a side point. This is a very weird thing for the show to be hinting at a few times. I agree this episode furthers this romantic Chloe Sabrina. If just do it, just
Yeah,
cowards, just show us them together.
Yes.
I don't like this as this weird subtext. Anyway, it's I do think Sabrina. I mean, it's the classic like overzealous sidekick character that you could very easily translate to romantic feelings. But you could also just see it as that overzealous sidekick trope. So I think it's a little bit hard to parse. But Sabrina is very into Chloe. I think this episode.
Yeah.
And Chloe is, I think Chloe, and you see them in the past. I don't know. Well, I don't know if there's any specific moment.
I think Chloe values their relationship to us in her own way. So she's
Chloe
just not as...
it'd be best for Chloe would just be making it official with Sabrina, them dating, and she could settle down, just focus on going on dates with Sabrina, and stop worrying about being Queen Bee and going to your rooftop and putting out the Queen Bee signal every day.
Well,
being spied on by Mayura.
That's true.
Just go to the movies with Sabrina, Chloe, enjoy yourself. It's fine.
But I will say she has upset, because it was always like her, or it was Marinette and Chloe who were like obsessed with Adrian, and we haven't been getting that a whole lot from Chloe lately. So there may be another contender in her heart.
So you're okay, yeah. So Chloe's obsession with Adrian has not really been shown much.
Yeah.
So maybe she's chilled out about that. She is also obsessed with Ladybug, though. But at this end of this episode, she's over Ladybug. So do you think Chloe is ready to settle down with Sabrina now that her crushes on Adrian and Ladybug have dissipated, seemingly?
Yeah, for sure.
Wow,
why not?
For sure. Wait, is it for sure or why not?
Both.
Okay,
why not both?
Okay, good. I'm glad we settled that. Okay, so that's our Chloe Sabrina ship watch because people were begging for that. We can come back to Chloe if we need. I also think Chloe and Marinette have a brief scene continuing their new cordial relationship. Let's talk Mayura here because Mayura is showing up in this episode is pretty shocking. I think we saw the end of season 2 and we're like, okay, Ms. Mayura, the main villain now. Is she always going to be a sidekick in every episode? No, we didn't see her until this episode 11 of the season, which I think is it's production 8 or in the middle or whatever.
It's episode 9. I've looked just
9.
now.
Okay, so it's been a while regardless. At some point, I saw that the first 6 episodes may have been produced before the season 2 finale, so it maybe makes sense to bring her back in this point more. But whatever. The point being, there's a lot of episodes of the season that don't feature Mayura, and we didn't see this coming. That she has been used very sporadically. And I also think it's a weird intro that, she's just been sitting there waiting for Marinette to go to Chloe to give her the Be Miraculous all this time. At the same time, it a little bit makes sense because this is the person who you know the identity of, so you can just send your sidekick there to wait and then steal the Miraculous. But it's very jarring, I feel like. April, this is probably not what you were expecting for the return of Mayura. This
really isn't. I feel like she's so much taking on this role of a sidekick, and it's I thought whenever we were introduced to her that we would be getting a whole lot more out of her, and we would be seeing more of that combination of Hawkmoth and Mayura, and especially because I guess Hawkmoth had akumatized Natalie, and then she became Mayura, so that whole complicated mess happened. But I feel like you got that to work before. Why don't you do that again? It didn't obviously pan out exactly the way you wanted to, but that was your best shot ever, Hawkmoth, and you're just now wasting your opportunity. So it just seems really not smart on his part. But I love her character design even more. She runs around in boots, which is amazing. And I guess her thing is she makes these Sentim monsters, which again we talked about they were a thing.
Yes.
So yeah, like
April, you don't know Centimonsters? It's such an established part of the show's mythology.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
right.
okay.
I forgot.
Thank you. I thought I went crazy. I was literally worried Dylan was going to yell at me for forgetting something. 'cause
Andy, how did you forget Centimonsters? It's been in every episode of this season.
Oh yeah, we've seen Mayura like every episode. For
I don't
sure.
I don't remember if they said Centimonsters in the. We also watched that one in French, the first Mayor episode. So
Yeah.
But they
I'm
didn't
not-
say it. She
I
just
don't
said
think they
like,
said it,
"Here's an
right,
aid to help you," and that
Yeah.
was it.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not going crazy because I literally had to go back and be like, wait, what did Ladybug call it? Like what did
Monster. Also,
like-
while we're at it, I also did not know what the dialogue involving Mayor is very unclear because we don't know what any of this is. Thomas on Twitter just now says Amok is the feather's name. Like Akuma is Amok equals Akuma for Mayura.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's what she said when she's blowing the feather.
Thank you for telling us that, Thomas.
Yeah.
After the fact.
Andy,
Well, I mean-
give me everything you know about Centimonsters.
Me?
Yes. Yes.
Everything I know about Centimonsters is that feathers can do something and attach to objects that when people are upset, but they don't empower the person, they empower the object, I guess. I guess.
They go into an object and then that object manifests a illusion.
So it's not a real monster. It's an illusion.
But it causes physical damage, so what's
Yeah.
the difference?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I guess I thought it was like, I thought it was more of an illusion fear type thing before, but it doesn't matter, I guess.
how does she pick? Does she just do it to anything then? Like, but does it have to be an object around someone who's mad or something?
Like kind of like the akumatizing.
I
So
don't
it's
know.
kind of like okay, I just don't understand it because it's kind of like akumatizing, but it's not like akumatizing. Because it creates this like sentient monster that literally no one has control over, apparently, despite the fact that it is attached to somebody in a whatever state.
Okay, let's go over the mayor and mechanics in this episode, because there's a
Okay.
scene of this giant lollipop thing being created. Other than that, Mayor just serves as the sidekick who runs around and tries to take the Miraculous, but there's this part where she blows her feather into the baby's pacifier to create this giant lollipop monster, Centimonster.
Yes.
So here's a key thing. Ladybug expresses surprise that there's a Centimonster there without an akumatized villain. So, presumably...
So this is
Off
again.
screen, what has happened is that usually a Centimonster is an augmentation to an akumatized villain. Like both an Amok and an Akuma go out at once.
Yeah.
But this is the first time Ladybug has seen just an Amok going out.
Yes, apparently.
Okay.
Apparently, although we have only seen this ever happen once, so we have to take their word for it.
But it happens all the time at the Eiffel Tower.
I don't know if we.
Could she do this to the Eiffel Tower? Could she make the Eiffel Tower a monster? Like
Because you can't akumatize objects, but you can Amok objects. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Is
What
this
would the
not-
Eiffel Tower's like fear
just-
be? What would like a giant, even bigger Eiffel
Yeah,
Tower
yeah,
that has
that's-
like
that's
an
what we
angry
need,
face
Joe.
on it?
This is what I need.
Like the anime angry face.
Yes.
Like the little veiny
Yeah.
top.
Can someone draw the Amok Eiffel Tower, please?
On it.
Oh my god.
And then we defeat the lollipop monster, and Marinette does an abbreviated version of her normal de-evilizing sequence where she doesn't say any parts of it. And
But
then
it
she
was
says,
different.
Was
Yeah,
it
'cause there was a
differently
feather.
animated?
Yeah, it was different from like the Akuma one because the Akuma one she sort of whirls her yo-yo around and to capture it, but this one she sort of shot it out.
I think it's just the ending. I think it's the ending part of the other
Well, it
sequence, but
looked-
they changed it a little bit. Maybe.
It looked different to me. It looked like she was shooting this one out versus
Okay.
whirling it around.
We'll take a look at the footage. But regardless, she says "Goodbye, little feather" is instead of "Goodbye, little feather." So that's that's all. That's
Done this
it.
a few times too. Okay.
Does
Let
she
me
instantly
see.
get the catchphrase for the new object, or does she? Is this innate with the ability? Okay, but
I-
that's what we know about the.
It just
the
comes to
mayor
her
powers.
naturally.
This is a very confusing follow-up to the first
Yes.
mayor appearance, clearly. But the giant lollipop thing was cool, I guess.
It would have been cooler if I knew what was going on, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. So other than that, though, I think the main thing to talk about Mayura was stalking Chloe, waiting for Marinette to come and give Chloe the Ladybug Miraculous. Andy, is this a smart supervillain move?
To stalk Chloe?
Wait for the one person you know the identity of in order to take that Miraculous.
This is I was making fun of Hawkmoth earlier, but that was for the specifics. This is the right move to steal it from Chloe, but he's just going about it the worst possible way ever. Just take the Miraculous. Don't try to get Chloe. Why would you want Chloe on your side so badly? It makes no sense. Just get the Miraculous. She's a child. Right. You're an adult.
It's not just take the Miraculous. It seems to be take the Miraculous as a means to get Chloe onto your side.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You're an adult man.
Why would you just take it?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get back to the second. April, Mayura in this episode, she's in the weeds fighting on the rooftop with that I believe that's where it took place.
Yeah,
with all the superheroes there, and at one point she's standing next to the Miraculer, and it's oh yeah, this is Hawkmoth's friend.
Because Miraculer just knows who Mayura is as well.
I mean, Hawkmoth has to introduce himself in the beginning, so clearly he also had to introduce Mayura at some point, and we didn't see it though.
It almost feels like everyone in the episode was trying to convince the audience that yeah, this is normal. This is good.
This happens all the time. Don't you guys know?
And then this is the first time they've seen Mayura, because in the season 2 finale they never saw her, I guess, and then she was just in the tower. They didn't even really
know she was there.
She didn't know she existed, and so yeah, Ladybug is oh, who's this? Oh, I guess this is Hawkmoth's sidekick. Okay, I think it's a little underwhelming considering this could be a huge reveal to them.
Right. Even what was it Hawkmoth making his first appearance was a huge deal, his first appearance to Ladybug and Cat Noir. And even at the end of season 2, whenever she was there, they didn't necessarily know, but they knew that he had an ally. And so I felt we were going to get that very much same oomph whenever we first revealed Mayura to our heroes, and we just didn't, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I think this could have been the main thing in the episode, but there's too much going on, so I feel it didn't get enough of a spotlight. This reveal of Mayura to our heroes. Mayura in action, she's battling with Cat at one point in the background, then she battles with Chloe as Queen Bee. She swipes the Miraculous, and then Cat hits it away. And she's about to take it off Chloe, and then Chloe's about to get the peacock off her, and then she disappears.
Yeah. Also, I really hope Chloe gets smart in future episodes and notices the peacock pin on Natalie at some point.
Because
Chloe almost took it off of her, and so I'm all right, Chloe, I need you to be smart. Do the
that would
thing.
require anyone to be able to tell anyone apart. That's just not possible.
Seems like a level of noticing detail that we are not capable of in this universe.
Well,
literally, the only person
Gabriel's been the only person to notice with Adrian's ring.
I think the point, though, is that the only person whose secret identity is known is the person that Iron Man just went, "I'm Queen Bee" to the entire city. Yeah. Everyone else is just unknown.
That's it. Yeah. Andy, did you like seeing Mayura in action here?
I guess. I'm very confused what her power set is. That's my main thing. She apparently can fight hand to hand, I guess, and can make Centimonsters, but she didn't do that in the fight that she had with them later.
Right. Why not use the Centimonster in that? Yeah.
Give yourself that extra edge. Oh, it's because Hawkmoth didn't tell her to.
I guess. I don't know. I feel I need a better grasp of what she can actually do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to see more appearances of Mayura. I feel we were way more excited in the season 2 finale about Mayura than the payoff of seeing her again here was. I feel this it was a little underwhelming, I think, but it's just exciting to see her in action after a long time of her being sidelined. That
said, I think the show needs a character like this. I think they need someone who's a face that they can talk to, because it's really annoying that they don't ever talk to Hawkmoth and he's the villain. They don't ever have any interactions with him, really. I think this is a needed element for the show to work better. It feels very weird. in this episode.
It's nice
And
seeing her in the
incomplete.
field.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
And it does seem a little incomplete, yeah. So we'll see. I mean, there's one point when they're back to back in the tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great shot. Totally unnecessary. Just building their sexual tension. All right, standing back to back together, doing their evil bidding.
I mean, they better do something about that quick because Natalie can't have much like life left in her.
So that's what I was going to say next. No consequences of Natalie donning the Peacock Miraculous in this episode.
Yes, because that was the biggest element of like her taking the Peacock.
Gabriel was like, "No, you're not going to do it anymore."
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and then
that's not mentioned here.
Apparently, he's sending her out like every day to stalk Chloe. So like, and there's no consequences of that apparently. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like that's such a big thing to introduce and then to take it away. So does that mean that he clearly doesn't care about Natalie? And he's like, yeah, just go out every day. Go be Mayra. Like,
I think either we missed an episode or it will be expounded upon in a further episode.
I think it's going to be something like, again, Code Lyoko, because I forget the exact plot point, but there was one where, like, if one of the characters went into the supercomputer too many times, they, like, died or something.
That's right.
But they could do it a number of times, like, to advance the hero's goals.
Right, we'll see her a few more times, but it would be nice to follow up on the concern about this.
But
I assume that will be at some point.
I assume like it's like a finite number of times. And then if she does it one more time after that, like she'll die. But
I don't know. I didn't get the impression they knew about a finite number of times, but it probably would be a thing where she did it a certain amount of times.
Yeah,
and she's okay until. Well, does she get progressively sicker, or is it a thing where she's fine until she hits the limit and then?
I mean, it's magic.
Or is it like a situation where like, okay, you used it, you're immediately sick, and it's like the stopwatch, or not the stopwatch, but the timer begins. And like, if you use it more, then you're just like forcing more of the sand down, and the whatever it's called, I can't think now.
Dylan, it's uptime. This is Genlock.
Nope. Moving on. I get. Yeah, this is sure. Okay. Let's talk. Let's stick with Hawkmoth this year. We can talk the Lila and Hawkmoth stuff. This episode continues the end of Oni-chan, where Hawkmoth makes a deal with Lila, but Lila thinks it's about Adrian. She doesn't know about the villain stuff, and that weird dynamic continues to the scene Andy mentioned where Hawkmoth is in the limo and Lila is on the park bench, and they are not looking at each other, having the secret meeting, and
apparently can hear each other.
Yeah, they're talking normal volume to each other. But
who's watching them? Why do they need a meet like this?
Okay, they have
phones. Just call each other.
Just call her. Clear, you have her number. You got the text from her, the picture.
Just call her.
No, look, okay. Gabriel's just trying to get out of the house more.
That's good.
Yeah, that is good.
He's trying to get out of the house more, which I think is great for him. But he also doesn't want to be seen because everyone knows that Gabriel Agreste rarely leaves his house, yet everyone knows what he looks like. Yeah. And so he can't just go out to the park. So because everyone will see him, and then everyone will see him with Lila. So he has to do this, roll up in the limo kind of situation and with the windows down.
Okay. Yeah, sure. That's a good explanation. I guess the result of this meeting is that Gabriel nudges Lila towards Chloe.
He doesn't even tell her the plan. He just pushes her.
Chloe and Adrian are close, and so the insinuation to Lila being to go after Chloe. I'm genuinely wondering if either of you can explain to me what Lila understands the situation to be, because that's the thing that makes no sense to me.
I don't know, Dylan.
Lila has this implicit agreement with Hawk. Clearly she doesn't know about the villain stuff. She's helping Adrian, and she's an understanding to keep Adrian safe from these terrible people that are influencing him badly.
That's not a healthy relationship.
Maybe. Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess it's what I just explained, where Lila thinks she's in agreement with Adrian's dad to keep bad people away from Adrian because she's convinced him she's a good person to help him do that. I guess that's what they're going for. But it just, I don't believe that Lila would do, like, this doesn't make sense to me.
It does not. Like,
All
I guess what's happening is that the best thing I can explain it as is that Chloe is well known to be Queen Bee, and so Lila's like, oh, Adrian shouldn't have. Chloe's a threat to me and to Adrian. Like, that's what this is.
Chloe's happy to Lila's happy to push anyone away from Adrian.
Yes, and this person's a superhero who's doing risky stuff and is also kind of insane.
It just doesn't make sense to me that Lila would think Gabriel would buy Gabriel's cover story. Like,
I think she would.
Lila's like, oh yeah, Adrian's dad is in an agreement with me to keep people away from Adrian. Like, it's just, and Lila's shown to be one of the smartest people on the show this episode, and this is like such stupid behavior.
But April, I agree with you. I think she would understand, but the thing is, this is Miraculous Ladybug, so nobody understands anything.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it is.
This okay, regardless of if people should understand, like, should Lila understand, does the cover story make any sense? This is just really convoluted. I feel like at its core, like, this is just a very convoluted plotline where both characters are, like, telling lies that barely make sense to each other in order to advance this, like, alliance, which was flimsily established. And sometimes I'm, like, astounded at this show, which in some ways does not have that much depth in certain areas. Like, the convolutedness it will go into certain areas, like, this is, like, not what the show should be wasting its plot energy on.
But, like, I kind of like the absurdity of this adult man, like, having this teenage girl be one of his minions. Like, I love that absurdity, but the way they go about it is just so weird. I don't understand what we're actually going for.
Yeah, and I think this is also a where the show is suffering from not being able to have real continuity because they can't carry over too much. But yeah, I do like Lila in an alliance with Gabriel, so I'm basically fine with it. It's not like I'm, like, so mad at this. It's just the way it's been going about so far in these two episodes has been very confusing and not satisfying to me. But at the Lila in an alliance with Hawkmoth is fun.
I like it. It's very in line of, like, Hawkmoth. For him to, like, it's so much his character for him to form an alliance with a teenager in order to, quote unquote, protect his son, because he's essentially using Lila the way that he used to use Chloe, which was to purposefully make people mad. And if anything, like, this, like, partnership just further proves his ability to manipulate people, because, like, he didn't even have to, like, say, like, I want you to go after Chloe. He's just talking to Lila, and he's like, oh yeah, Chloe's, like, really good friends with my son, and so it would be really hard for you to sort of sever that relationship. And Lila's like, I'm up to the challenge, boss. Like, I got this. And, like, hair flips and, like, walks away, kind of like it's just, like, him further proving how manipulative he is as a person.
And that's why we stan.
That's why we stan Hawkmoth.
I stan him too. But as we've been talking about this, and we talked about how Gabriel, like, never leaves his home. I just realized he'd be like, actually, like, if somebody, like, didn't know he was Hawkmoth and, like, actually was, like, because famous people have, like, weird stalkers, right? And like, people track where they go. Like, if you actually track where Gabriel goes, like, he leaves his house to do stuff like go to a movie that he produced for kids and drive around in his car and secretly talk to a 13-year-old girl. Like, it's stuff like that. Like, and I'm just trying to figure out, like, how anyone, like, even if they don't know he's Hawkmoth, he still comes off as really weird and creepy.
Yeah, where's the Paris newspaper investigation into Gabriel's movements? Yeah, not even tabloids. Like a serious reporter investigation into, like, what is this secret millionaire doing, tracking his movements, and, like, comes to some really weird conclusion.
It's a Nadia exclusive, okay? Like,
is Nadia the only journalist in Miraculous Ladybug?
But I would love it, Dylan, if they did that and then just never came anywhere close to Hawkmoth, because none of the evidence even points to Hawkmoth. It's just still really weird and creepy.
Yeah, there's some bad conclusions we could draw, I feel like, but from this, but it's maybe it's better if it did lead to.
There's no bad conclusion to draw from a millionaire a fully grown man telling his sidekick to stalk
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. that's the bad
Nothing wrong
conclusion.
with that.
That's the bad conclusions. Getting in, we talked mostly about what Hawkmoth is thinking here, but I agree with April's characterization. It seems like he's just using. I mean, that's what this one Gabriel and Natalie scene. They've like really weird close-ups of their faces, really sinister close-ups, and it's like use Lila Rossi's psychological talents. I think says Natalie to help make Chloe lose faith in Ladybug. So it seems like Lila is just a means to an end, and Chloe's cooperation with them is the bigger plan. Like the season-long plan, which is more baffling to me because I think they can manipulate Lila. Chloe seems loyal to the heroes, and I don't understand their plan with her. And I feel like just take Lila.
Yeah,
like, who cares about Chloe?
Chloe is clearly a loose cannon. Hawkmoth uses her to akumatize people all the time.
Yeah,
and Lila, while also able to akumatize people, is more calculating and logical, I guess, and can. Yeah, it's in a bad way, but just use Lila. Just bring Lila into the fold. Just reveal that you're the. I mean, isn't that where we're going? At some point, Lila will learn that Hawkmoth, Gabriel's Hawkmoth.
Yeah.
And you've already like akumatized her multiple times, and you know.
I mean, like that's a low bar, Dylan. Multiple akumatizations, like that's not.
Bring the baby into the fold.
Let's get the baby's there, also upset. Like, gets akumatized because of it.
Can Hawkmoth just be holding that baby at some point?
Dylan, did you know the baby has a name?
Yeah, what's the name again? I'm trying to remember. August. Yeah. Okay, that's how you knew it was the same baby as that one episode.
Yeah.
Unless it's a different baby with the identical character model named August, which it could be because all babies in Paris probably look like that. Yeah. So I don't like this plan from Gabriel, but this is where we're going, I guess, with the season. This is big information that he's trying to get Chloe onto their side.
I just don't know, like,
I
guess I'm confused by the fact that, like, they really want Chloe on their side, but they only want Chloe if she's going to have the Be Miraculous, right?
I don't know if they want her for the Be Miraculous or not. I'm confused.
And then what's the point of having Chloe?
Maybe they like Chloe.
I mean, we like Chloe.
Yeah, maybe they're like us and big Chloe fans.
Chloe, we're big fans of your work. We just wanted to take notes from you. Could you host a TED Talk? Thank you.
Yeah, Hawkmoth talk to all the little Hawkmoths, and I don't know who would he be? No, but they do. Hawkmoth does say take the Be Miraculous, leave Chloe. They'll deal with Chloe later, but it's unclear if that's just like an opportunistic taking of the Miraculous, or if like she was stalking out Chloe, not to get the Miraculous, but to get Chloe, because it seems like the motivations mainly were to poison Chloe against Ladybug. But once that happens, maybe she does need the Miraculous, maybe she doesn't. I guess the clearer thing is that they want Chloe working with them, not just in like an akumatized fashion and like an actively helping them.
Are they gonna? Well, I guess okay. So I guess I could understand just having Chloe be on their side, because Chloe knows all about the Miraculouses and the whole deal. So I guess it would be easier for them to kind of explain or to work around that situation because Chloe's already in the loop, whereas Lila's not.
But I mean, how much is there to explain?
A lot.
Is there?
Yeah, like 2 seasons worth.
But every episode's the same. They could just be like,
"How dare you?" Chloe doesn't.
They're
really,
not the same.
The problem is Chloe doesn't really know anything, so I don't know what you're not like gaining information.
Because she doesn't know Fu or whatever.
Yeah, she doesn't know of Master Fu or any of them. Yeah, so we'll see where this Chloe thing goes. We don't have enough really information to track this so far. Last part of the episode I want to briefly talk about is the fact that all our heroes are together. It's the first time since the season 2 finale. We see this big fight sequence evolve. And also, we haven't talked about Sabrina as Miraculer, so we can talk about that too.
We haven't talked about Miraculer at all.
Yeah, Sabrina takes their powers. It seems like I was confused if they actually lost the powers or she just duplicated. It does seem like she actually lost the powers because Ladybug has to go through this intricate sequence to pretend she's Chloe in order for Sabrina to grant her Lucky Charm back.
But she still keeps the Lucky Charm power.
Does she keep the Lucky Charm power? Does she use that before that part?
Yeah, because Ladybug gets her powers back, but then
Miraculer still keeps it. Yeah. I guess that's another example of these mechanics seeming super arbitrary. I complained about this a little bit in the last podcast too. But of course they are, but it's just how it works.
I think the issue is that like when they're arbitrary, like in not a fun way, like in Animaestro, like they're arbitrary like cartoon powers. That's fun. This is like I don't really want to figure out the specifics of Miraculer's power. Like just.
I thought this worked a lot better than the Onichan powers, which seemed arbitrary to me in a not fun way. This was like, okay, she's combining Lucky Charms for a random object, then Cataclysms it to shoot out a destructive thing. That's pretty fun. And she steals the shelter turtle power to protect stuff, and then she uses the illusion thing to make Naruto clones of her. All that was pretty fun. I thought, and her design was great.
I really loved her design. I thought it was great. It was. Also, I love sassy Sabrina.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah, and I think Sabrina's English voice is really good. I think all of this really worked in this format that we were presented. I feel like she's one of the strongest villains, up there with Backwarder. I feel like we really like that villain.
My other, I guess, like my only complaint, and it's not her fault, is the fact that of the like akumatized people or akumatized villains that we've had, she was probably the one person who could have easily gotten the Miraculouses, and I was very frustrated with Hawkmoth because I was like, why do you care so much about the Bee Miraculous? You literally have the opportunity to take the Miraculouses right now. What are you doing? And then he's like, oh, Mayara, go ahead and get Kanoara's Miraculous. And I'm like, you've had this opportunity the whole time. What are you doing with your life?
Yeah.
This is
a good point.
Tiny April rant.
And Andy,
yes,
superhero expert here. So I want your take on how the Avengers are utilized in this episode. They're all on screen. They're all fighting.
I'd say that this is definitely a direct comparison to the fight in Infinity War on Titan, and they're all like trying to get Thanos to get they're trying to fight him, and they're all like holding him down, and they're trying to pull off his gauntlet.
Oh my gosh, it's exactly that.
It is exactly that.
Can we just tickle Thanos?
That's what I'm getting at, Dylan.
Why didn't anyone think of that?
You followed my exact thought process to the punchline. We need to tickle Thanos.
That's a great point. Yeah, because I feel like the end of season 2 was like I think the first Avengers. You get like the circle shot of them. I don't know if that was but
that's first one.
Yeah.
But it feels like this was definitely in production after Infinity War, and like they definitely
was it. When did Infinity War come out?
Infinity War was last year.
That would be a quick turnaround if they wrote this after Infinity War. It
Well,
would be a coincidence.
But I mean, like they just like changed a little bit of the fight scene, like in the animation, because they're like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the plot hinged around that last part though.
I guess it did.
To tickle her, they hold her down.
But it is interesting how similar it is to that.
Now that you mention it, is really similar.
Like it's all heroes. They're just trying to hold down one villain, and it's cool.
Yeah. Did you like all of them fighting together, Andy? Did
it was fun. For you? I think it was cool. They used a lot of stuff together. I think I get frustrated just with the whole like I don't know. I get frustrated with like the whole like they have to give Marinette has to give them the miraculous things, and like just let them keep them. Like I think everything would be more cool if they just kept them.
Yeah, she gets them back from Alia, Nino, and everyone, and yep. I feel like at this point we've accepted it, but it is still kind of an annoying plot mechanic, and again goes back to the lack of serialization they're capable of, and yeah.
But I do like that we actually tried to trick the villain, like we had Marinette disguised as Chloe with Reina Rouge's illusions. That was cool, and like again, like you mentioned, I really liked the use of Miraculer, like combining all the powers. There was always some cool stuff going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think all of them fighting worked because the villain pointed out their powers. Otherwise, they would have been a little buried, and I think they're still buried in the episode. I feel like if they had more time to breathe, this could have been a bigger thing, like in the season 2 finale. But it was still cool seeing all of them together.
Yeah.
Is this a mechanic the show will like pull out for its big episodes, like just bringing everyone back like they did in Heroes Day, or is this a one-time thing? Like probably they'll all be back again for the season 3 finale.
Probably.
Will they be back again soon? Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Who knows?
I don't know. It felt like we were hinting at it with Master Fu this episode, that people are going to keep the Miraculouses soon. Like it feels like he's just like wrong, like just completely wrong about this. But I don't know.
Who's wrong?
Master Fu. That like that she needs to bring him back. Like I don't know. It just feels weird that Chat and Ladybug get to keep theirs, but no one else does. Like, why is that a thing?
You could easily let Alia and Nino keep it.
Alia and Nino, at least Alia, she's really responsible, and Nino's fine. But
maybe Alia can hold the turtle one for Nino.
Yeah, she has both of them.
Yeah.
I see it as they're both out and they see a villain and Alia's like, here's your Miraculous, to her boyfriend.
Yeah.
She takes it out of her purse for him. That's how it goes.
She's just holding on to it in her purse.
Yeah.
They both know that she's more responsible.
I knew you'd get hungry, honey. I have a snack for you.
Yeah, exactly that.
Okay. I'm reading through the outline, see if there's anything we missed here to close out while we're talking about this. I think we probably covered everything.
I think we definitely missed stuff, Dylan, but this episode is just so weird. And
we kind of have everything
Yeah.
Wait, nope. This line from Plog. We missed Plog line. He says, I won't call dinosaurs wusses ever again.
Yep.
Okay.
We can't forget how old, Plog and Tiki are.
Yeah.
But
can't forget it.
Okay.
Which also, I think haven't we already hinted at that Plog's the reason the dinosaurs don't exist
I think
anymore?
we joked about that before.
Yeah. It's just something.
Yeah. Oh, Chloe, Sabrina's like, oh, you can be Ladybug, and Chloe's like, I don't want to be Ladybug. I'm Queen Bee. So I think that's another part of her rejecting Ladybug, or at least establishing her own identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, Marinette throws the Miraculous to Chloe, and she transforms with the best transformation sequence still, I feel like. And
it's really good.
One of my favorite moments was Adrian's bodyguard carrying him into his room and setting him down.
Oh,
and then Adrian goes, okay, I think I'm safe now.
Yeah, that's a summary of it. That's here's the quick Adrian moment. Yeah.
No, I really like that, because that was the quickest way to summarize how Adrian gets to the fight. I love that so much. It was just a really quick bit.
It was this episode's way too much. We just gotta do the short version of that.
Yeah.
By the way, Andy, I think my understanding now is that the rock version of the battle that we get after Chloe transforms is the Queen Bee character.
Oh God,
Yeah.
This is not a question I can answer right now, Dylan. I'm sorry. I'd have to go back and listen to it.
No, I was thinking about this. I didn't I thought it was just new music that came in at the end of last season, and now I remember that from the Queen Bee trilogy episodes.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
So now I think it's the Queen Bee theme music, which I really like.
That's
really
cool.
Like that.
Yeah, I believe you. And I just cannot picture. I can't
it is the first time we've gotten Queen Bee in a while, so it's striking to me that we maybe. We'll have to see. I always like the Queen Bee appearances with the sequence into her moving about rooftops or whatever. I think it's I really like that part of the episode. And then they tickle the Lucky Charms for a pillow, and then tickles her. And
this is one of the more stupid Lucky Charms, honestly.
I really hated this until I made the connection to the Chloe Sabrina flashback thing, and then I was like, okay, at least it's good in the episode, but it's very fast. And,
no. I got that when I was watching the first time, Dylan. I just think that this is I just can't get over she got a sword and a laser gun.
No, the pillow is important. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, pillow's important, and she tears the photo at the end, and Hawkmoth says they're setting the stage for the future. Queen Bee will change her mind.
Okay, Hawkmoth.
Yeah.
Whatever you say,
buddy.
And at the end, Tiki's like, "It's okay, Marinette. That was the right move." But if Hawkmoth does get Chloe onto their side, Tiki is wrong about this.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm very skeptical right now if Chloe did join Hawkmoth. I'm worried that this would be regressive for her character and redundant with her being a villain in the past, and I would need to be convinced further if I were to like that. We still have time this season, though.
I think there's ways to push Chloe forward in a way that's against Marinette's actions, but maybe not villainous. But it seems like this episode Hawkmoth's we can make Chloe a villain. I just don't see it at all.
Yeah.
It's such a weird move to show Hawkmoth being so adamant about making Chloe a villain, and also showing Chloe being so defiant to and not anything that's not being a superhero. It's a weird juxtaposition. I'm not sure what they're doing with it yet.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we will until the finale or another random episode that's another plot episode.
But we've discussed this before. Like, all of the Miraculouses are, like, infinitely old. So they know everything. So if you know everything, you can, like, predict everything, right? Like, that's what we talked about. Like, if you know every single piece of knowledge in the world.
Oh, yeah.
I think not, because Tiki's stupid. And Bob's stupid. They're both very dumb considering they're gods.
Yeah.
Even if considering they're normal people, they'd be like reasonable, normal humans, but very stupid gods. Maybe the stupidest we've ever seen.
Maybe it's the opposite way. Like, once you get too much knowledge, like, you just can't process anything.
That's an interesting presentation of that. I don't know if
After
we've seen that too much in media.
millennia,
Yeah,
it's too overwhelming.
Their
Or
brains
you
just
lose
overload.
perspective or something. Yeah. Okay, I like that. Okay, well, you write your Tiki discourse posts about that. Really, I mean, it's more just that most of their time has been spent in this music box, and they haven't really accumulated much knowledge despite being infinitely old.
Yeah.
despite.
Okay, April, give us final closing thoughts on this episode.
We did forget another small moment, excuse me, where Marinette was nice to Chloe. I thought that was really great.
I mentioned that this I feel like this furthers them in Maestro, their cooperation.
Yeah. I thought, well, and I think that's just, I thought it was a really nice moment. I was really proud of Marinette for, like, I guess sort of like going out there and just trying, even like being outside of being Ladybug. So shows the tiniest bit of like character progression for her. So other than that, I have a lot of questions still, but I think this was a good episode despite a lot of the kind of hiccups that we sort of feel with it. And I'm curious to see what the next episode has in store for us, which will be 8 episodes away.
I would love if
that's a confusing way of saying that.
I would love if the next episode like just references Chloe being a villain and we just have no context for it.
Yep.
Boy, that's the big danger with airing this.
We kind of had something like that with whenever we had the Queen Bee trilogy.
We mentioned a Queen Bee villain before we ever saw them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did that. We did that last season. Andy, final thoughts?
I think we talked so much about everything in this episode. The only thing we really didn't talk about a lot was the Mayura Chloe fight scene on top of the roof. I really liked that Chloe went for the Miraculous. Like, it was, I don't know.
Instinct.
That's a refreshing move.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she went to steal Mayura's Miraculous, which I thought was pretty cool for one of the heroes to do.
Yeah,
that's a good. I mean, it really isn't normally applicable because
no, it's not. But I mean, I think it shows
Miraculous,
Chloe's a little bit smarter than everyone kind of gives her credit for, because she understands that they're going for hers. Like, why shouldn't she go for theirs?
That's smart.
Yeah,
that's really smart.
Yeah, maybe I'm knocking Chloe's intelligence too much. Lila's smart, but Chloe also has some smarts here. In this episode. Yeah. Okay, so we talked about it. It's a good episode, a lot going on. I think my ideal Ladybug episode is not quite as busy as this. I realize I've been hard to please though with recent. I called Oblivio not crazy enough. This episode's too much. I don't know what the right.
I mean,
back order. I was very very happy with.
You need rocket dumpsters. That's really all we need.
I either want space dumpsters or Chris Masters or back orders. Like, those are the two episodes I know I like in them.
I mean, I also could do it more Thomas in the show.
Actual
I think
Thomas
that I don't know if that episode was good, but I didn't think as good as
I know what this episode was really missing for you, Dylan.
What?
There was no Luca.
April? No, just okay. I don't have the energy.
Look, Delaney's not here. I can do that.
Yeah, Delaney.
Well, no, Delaney being here is the reason to do it.
Yeah, that's the reason to do it.
Oh.
No, we needed Luca. I mean, Luca's the main character of the season. I mean, Luca and Marinette are basically dating at this point, as established. No mention of that since Silencer. Nope. Okay.
Nope.
It's fine. It's fine. Everything's gonna be fine.
Dylan, I'm imagining you you have notes all over your table, trying to find what's going on. I guess this is a thing. Okay, I guess.
I don't have notes trying to track the season. There's too much happening. I can't do it.
I know you don't, Dylan, but that's the picture in my head.
Yeah, picking up multiple pieces of paper. Oh yeah, Luca
the wall
was,
with all of the strings and everything
that. Me trying to figure out where the season is going. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay, so tell us your grand unified season 3 theories in the comments. Really, you'll just talk more about Super Penguino. That's fine though. You
Oh,
can
and the
comment about
drawings
that
for
if
the
you
Eiffel
want.
Tower.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, if
Submit
someone
your
draws the
angry
Eiffel,
Tower pictures.
Yeah, you're. I already forgot the name of the.
The Centimonster.
Centimonster.
Yeah, no, the feather's name.
We'll
a
reveal
mock?
our
A mock?
favorite one next time. No, we won't. But
I'm implying people will send any number of them in.
But Dylan,
A mock.
Mock.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
It's buried within Thomas.
is that supposed to be a muck? Like, is that supposed to be like a pun on a muck?
A mock. I don't know what the pronunciation is, but yeah. Trying to cross-reference Thomas's Twitter of him talking about being pro-abortion, and so put some good posts from Thomas on the abortion rights and stuff, but also juxtaposed with questions on Ladybug mythology.
That's like the weirdest Twitter feed ever, probably.
it's so entertaining. I love it.
He's also like answering like a video, like a Smash Brothers question. Anyway, okay.
Dylan, I don't follow Thomas, but that's like the most absurd fever dream of a Twitter feed ever.
Just go look at it. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, you really should go check it out.
Okay, so that's the main way to get information on the show,
Yeah.
at least about the mythology. Not the airing schedule. Thomas has no idea. So we'll be back Saturday for apparently Switzerland is releasing Time Tagger. And also this episode, so we'll get the French version of this episode, but Time Tagger is the new one. So we'll be covering that hopefully Saturday. So subscribe to us to not miss future Ladybug podcasts at overlyanimated.com, overlyanimated.com/iTunes, youtube.com/overlyanimated. Any of these places to not miss our Ladybug podcast. Definitely let us know what you thought of this discussion. Anything we talked about. Send the Eiffel Tower drawings. Send your just theories on season 3. Send your Chloe and Sabrina fanfic headcanons.
Yes.
What big metaphor oversight did we have this time? Let us know all of that. And YouTube comments or overlyanimated.com. Click on the article comments. Talk about Ladybug with us on our Discord at overlyanimated.com/Discord. That's another place you can tell us about your thoughts on Ladybug. And you can also support us via Patreon at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thanks to our current patrons, especially our patron podcast, Otaku Guy 01. And thanks as always to our patron executive producers, Ryan, Steve, Alex, Beatrice, Hugh, and Michael. Back from more Ladybug soon. We also had an OKKO podcast go up recently. We have the Star vs. the Force of Evil series finale coming up this weekend. That's a really big thing. Thank you, Ladybug, for releasing 2 episodes the same time as the Star is finishing. We have time after the Star finale. We could have done this after. But
Yeah, we could have delayed this like a week. It's fine.
Yeah, that would have been a lot better, but there's no one to blame because no one is in control of this schedule.
Nobody.
So
Literally nobody.
Literally.
Yep.
It's literally a monkey with like just pressing buttons, and it's
It's
like
not even a monkey. They just hope that a heavy enough fly will land.
Is it a mock feather?
Yeah.
They have the episode like sitting on like imagine like the episode's like a piece of paper, so they're just waiting for it to like fly out the window to whatever country it's going to air in.
Yeah.
Someone in Spain.
Switzerland is the answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I think we've settled on the trifecta of Spain, Switzerland, and Canada as releasing most of the episodes this season. So, sure.
Sure.
None of those are particularly large markets, I feel but
at least they're consistent.
Consistency. Okay.
Ladybug episodes also now airing on the Disney Channel proper in the United States instead of Netflix, so maybe the Disney Channel will catch up with the season and start premiering new episodes instead of these countries. That would be great.
Oh my goodness.
That's possible, I think.
Don't get my hopes up, Dylan. We know that's not going to happen. We're going to go back to
dartboard. Only one episode of Ladybug has ever first aired in the U.S.
Oh my god, really? Only one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Captain Hard Rock, the best episode of Ladybug ever, premiered on Netflix. So there's your Ladybug trivia. So we'll maybe more to come. Okay, that's way too long already. I did all the plugs, yes.
Yep.
Thank you guys for listening. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.